Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to RJ Dairy Virtual Chat and Farm Tour. I am Brittany, and I'm with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited that you are joining us today as we get to meet Farmer Rita and, of course, our adorable adopted calf, Fluffy. Today's tour wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Midwest Dairy Association and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live tour is part of the Adopt a Cow program. So, for anyone that's new to Discover Dairy and the Adopt a Cow program, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while using dairy concepts to teach those lessons. The resources can be found at www.discoverdairy.com. We'd also love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're interested in joining us or you're new to the program and want to join the fund, registration will open on August 1st, and you'll be able to find that information at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And we'll go ahead and put that link in that chat feature for you so you have that link for August 1st. Again, it's www.discoverdairy.com/adopt. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you will see that the live chat feature is enabled. Please feel free to use that chat feature to comment and ask questions throughout the tour. But do please keep in mind that all questions and comments need to be related to the tour and needs to be school appropriate. We are excited to hear your questions, and Farmer Rita, I know, is happy to answer them. So real quick, before we jump to Farmer Rita, we're going to see who's joining us on the live chat today. So we have got some folks from West High School in Billings. Welcome, everybody. We have some from Williamston, North Dakota. Awesome. Hello. From Turtle Lake, North Dakota, Bison, South Dakota. Harrisburg, South Dakota, first graders, welcome everybody. Got some Jamestown, North Dakota, third graders, welcome. We've got some preschoolers in South Dakota, welcome everybody. Minot, North Dakota, fifth graders, Kensal, North Dakota, second graders. Bozeman, Montana, awesome, excited to have all of you. And let's see, one more from Evansville, Indiana, second graders, wonderful. We're so excited to see you all today joining us. You know where that live chat feature is, so please feel free to go ahead and answer your questions or comments as we're going through the chat or going through that virtual tour. And we're happy to take them as we go, or if we don't get them as we go, we'll take them at the end during our Q&A. So with that, I am pleased to introduce you to Farmer Rita at RJ Dairy. Hey, Farmer Rita, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing fine. I'd like to say thank you all for joining us today, far and near. It's nice to have you all here. So,
Awesome.
a little bit about myself. My husband and I have been dairy farming for 40 years. It's 40 years to this day. We both grew up on a dairy farm as well, raised four great children. I have now seven grandchildren. So yes, we are busy. We do a little more than just dairy. We do beef as well, and we do have crops. We seed maybe 200 acres of spring wheat. We got about 150 acres of barley. That is basically for feed for the cattle. We got alfalfa about 70 acres. We have a grass field, which is about 100 acres. We have soybeans. We got about, I think they were saying they have 800 acres of soybeans seeded, and they're working on the corn right now. That by the time we're done with the corn, we should have another 800 acres of that seeded. We usually seed sunflowers, but this year we're taking a break from sunflowers. So those are kind of the specialty crops we also seed on the farm, other than dairy. I hope you all had your glass of milk today, because from here we're going to go see Fluffy, the calf that you adopted, and we're going to see the cows that provide you the nutritious self good milk that you drink every day. So
Awesome.
we'll go from here to Fluffy. What do you think?
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll follow you to Fluffy, and that's incredible. So you were using the term you seed different things. So what does seeding mean? What's that process look like on your farm?
Seeding means we don't have we have the drill down there right now. You can see the red tractor with the drill on. That is the seeder we usually put the barley in with. We put the barley in with that. And the other one is out in the field right now. I wish that was close by, but I do have a page, RJ Dairy. If any of you are interested in getting on Facebook and checking it out, I will have some pictures posted on us seeding corn. So you can see the equipment on the RJ Dairy link to Facebook if you're interested in following me as well. So
Awesome.
they're out seeding corn right now, so I can't show you that stuff. So, and when I say seeding, that means we put the seed in the ground, and then if the weather is nice, the seed will come up in amongst about a week. So, and then from there it grows into whatever crop you plant it, you know, like the corn, sunflowers, soybeans, whatever. So, yeah,
Great.
We do use soybeans in our feed for cows. We use barley in our cow ration. We use barley, corn, soybeans. We use minerals. We use all that good stuff for cows, so they provide you the nutritious milk that we milk cows twice a day. I probably come on into the barn. This is our barn now where Fluffy is in. This barn it's an old barn. It was here before we even got here, so it's over 40 years old. And these are my baby calves. As you see, I have two older ones in here. I have Fluffy, she's laying way in the back right now. She's way in the back, kind of laying by the door. She has a little attitude problem here the last 2 days because her friends were moved outside. But I wouldn't allow her to go outside yet because I wanted her to be closer so you kids could all see her close up. When she's outside, she'll probably be hanging out with them and she won't be as easy to see. So, but when we're done today, we'll allow her to go back outside with her friends. So that's probably why she's laying in the back of the barn right now. And we have newborn baby calves in each one of these stalls. We have a newborn baby calf that was born maybe within a week's time. Now, these two calves here are probably the oldest ones in our barn right now, other than Fluffy and Pepsi. These two are twins. They were born about 2 weeks ago. One's a little bigger than the other. As you see, the one that's a little bigger was born first. They're both heifers. That means they're both girl calves. So they will grow up and be part of our dairy production. They will be providing you the milk. In about 2 years from now, they will have baby calves of their own, and then they will bring you milk to your table as well. So I'm going to take you through the barn and get a little closer to Fluffy.
Awesome. Yeah, so this barn looks really cozy and comfy for them. It looks like they've got a lot of straw, and just looking at their bedding, they look really comfortable.
When they're born, we take them from the cow because the cow produces way more milk than the calf can actually handle. And it's always not such a good thing for the cow to produce so much milk and not being able. So we milk the cow. We're doing her a favor by milking her basically. And the calves we take good care of. As you see, they're happy. They're taken care of. The mothers are outside eating their stuff, doing their thing. And the calves are happily in our own barn. They all grow up from here. The heifers we all keep. We raise all the heifers. The steer calves, they sometimes go to another farm when they're about 6 months old. You know, they don't always stay here forever, but they go to another farm then, and somebody else will raise them till they're big enough to move on to another place. So as you see, we have a little baby calf over here, this little red one, Ridley. These, when they're separate in the stall, that means they're bull calves. We don't usually put a bull calf with a heifer calf. Next stall, we have 3 babies in. Those are all 3 little heifers. And the little one that's in the middle was just born yesterday. As you see, he's pretty quiet. Billy was born 2 days ago. So they're generally sweet little calves, and they're always pretty, they're tame, you know, they're happy, they're friendly, they love us. As you see, there I got Stella. You know, they don't run away from you. They love you when you rub their necks.
Aww. Now you keep saying different names. Do you come up with names for all of them, or what's that like for you?
We come up with names with all of them. The heifers all get new names. Basically, the bull calves, steer calves, whatever, they end up sometimes with their mother's names. Like Hart is a bull calf. He's got a green ear tag. The ones with the green ear tags are usually the bull calves, and the ones with the yellow ear tags are the heifer calves. Bull tags usually end up sometimes with their mother's name because they move on to a different farm down the road. So, and the heifers we hang on to, and I usually name all them, and they all have a number, so we know when they're born. We can go back into our books and find their name and their number, and we know exactly when they're born and how old they are. We keep track of that on everyone. This is Pepsi. She's my dear old friend. She's pretty friendly. She's always a little scared when somebody else is in the barn. You know, she's used to just me because I feed all the calves. That's my job. And when somebody else is in the barn, sometimes they get a little scarier, but they're always fine. They, after a while, they get to the point where they will love up to you. They're pretty friendly. So she's a little older. She's normally outside, but she's my favorite right now. So she's in the barn with me until Fluffy moves out. We got a calf in each stall. And here we come up to Fluffy. Fluffy's a little bigger. She was born October 27th, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
She was, and right now I would say weighs at least, good 400 to 600 pounds. I can't really say, she'll step on a scale for me, the scales aren't good. So, but she weighs anywhere from that. She's a big girl. Here, Peanut, just think now, Peanut is about 3 weeks old. Just look at the difference, from Fluffy to Peanutty. Fluffy used to be the size of Peanutty, even smaller. Fluffy, turn around. She's shy today, isn't she?
If we could try and get a different angle, it's getting really dark with the sun coming in the barn. If we can maybe try and go more where Rita's at instead of shooting right into the light, that would probably help us see Fluffy. There we go. Oh,
Fluffy's
they're hanging out.
Fluffy doesn't want to say hello today. So this is Fluffy says she doesn't want to be on the camera today, but we'll get back up there and we'll show her again. This is little Spirit. This is a little calf that was just born yesterday as well. And as you see, they're all black. We do have beef cattle and we do have dairy cattle. So, so they are a little different. The white ones are Swedish Reds. This one here has got some dusty look to it. We'll bring camera over here. This one's got a little dusty look to it. This one's got some blue roan in it. Blue roan in it. So yeah, that's a dairy breed as well. So it's got a little blue roan in it. So we do crossbreed. So we do have a few different types of dairy as well.
Very cool. Now, while they're in their pens hanging out there, what do they eat? What do they drink? What's their diet like?
Okay, little calves get a bottle of milk, 2 quarts of milk every morning and every night. I'll show you the bottle. We get to the front. This is the grain we grind up for them. It's consisted of corn.
Oh, Rita, I think something accidentally happened. You got muted. If we can go ahead and get you unmuted, that would be great. I'm actually, there we go. Oh, now I can hear you. Okay, try that now.
Oh, so did I cut out on that?
It said you were muted, but I think you're back now. So you're talking about the corn.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm showing you the grain. You seen the grain?
Mm-hmm.
The grain is mixed with corn, barley, and it's got some minerals in it so the calves stay healthy and they keep growing well. And then we have a little manger in the back of them that's always full of hay for them. So when they're ready to eat, they can eat. And we try to keep that full because once they start eating that, then they're on their way. Then they start eating. It takes about a week and then they start nibbling on it. The first couple of days they don't eat much. They just want their milk and that's it. And we usually give them milk up to 2 months old. 2.5 months, sometimes 3 months. It depends on how much milk we have that we want to and how I feel like feeding them, So, and then when you look out the back, we do have the next bunch from this step. They stay in here to about 3 months old. And then they usually go to the south side barn. But as of 2 days ago, it got warm here. So we moved all of them outside. This is the bigger pen. Some of these are a little bit bigger, but we are sending them to the pasture as soon as we're done planting corn. And right now they're all together because we don't want them near the bulls. So we just have them all together right now until the pasture time comes, which is going to be in a week's time, 2 weeks the most, where they all get to go to the pasture. So the bigger ones will be going to the pasture, the littler ones will be staying here.
Aw,
So I'd say 3/4 of these will be going to the pasture to eat.
that's
So yeah,
wonderful.
they do grow up. They grow up. This one here again, as you see, it's got a little blue roan in it because it's got some dusty in it,
Hmm.
dusting. And this one's just pure Holstein. So
Wonderful.
yeah,
Awesome. So
yeah,
that's where Fluffy's heading to next, right? Outside in the corral area and then
Fluffy
out
will
to the
be
pasture.
outside. That's probably why she's got a little attitude because she wants to be outside too. And we haven't had her outside. You know, when her friends all went outside, she wanted to go out too. But I told my husband, don't let her out yet. I wanted to get a little closer and look at her. I figured if she's out here, she probably won't come up yet, you know, because when they first go outside, they don't usually like to mingle as much. You know, they're kind of shy, they're quiet yet. So they get to know the place a little better. So yeah,
Yeah.
she will be out here. As you see, we have quite a few red ones back there. We do have beef cattle as well. And those calves were taken from their moms last fall when the mothers were again pregnant. So when the mother gets pregnant again, we take the older calf away from the cow and we raise them ourselves. And now the mothers probably have a newborn baby calf again, and we'll see them a little later on. So we do
Wonderful.
have a mixture here of beef cattle and dairy. And like I said, in a couple of weeks, the most, we'll be separating them, and the dairy will be going to one pasture, and the beef will be going to one pasture.
Awesome. So as we head back up to the front of the barn, and I think we're probably going to head on over to probably talk about feed, I believe, if we can attempt to try and get to see Fluffy one more time if she doesn't run away from us. I know you had said probably between 400 and 600 pounds. About how tall do you think she is right now?
Oh, I would say she's a good 3 feet tall. I would say
Wow.
she's a good 3 feet tall because I'm 4 feet and I'm 5 feet, or is that higher? What do you think?
Uh,
She's
maybe
about,
I was going to say she might even look closer to 4 feet tall. She
yeah,
looks big
she's
compared to all
probably
that.
tall. Yeah, she's quite a bit bigger than the rest. So I'd say she's maybe 4 feet tall. When you think about it, I'm 5 feet. So yeah, she's about a foot shorter than I am.
Oh
So
my goodness, she
yeah,
got so
she's just,
big.
she's gotten really big and she just wants to go outside today. That she's got one thing in her mind, you know? Like she, you know, there for a while she was coming up to me and butting me, you know, but and then since then we put her over to the other side and she met new friends and her friends that she, you know, got weaned with and
Mhm.
to bring her back in here, she wasn't too happy, but I just thought we'd bring her in so we get a little closer to her.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that.
You
We
know, the
actually,
kids,
oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we actually had someone that really liked the picture when you had sent that Fluffy got her head in her milk bucket, and they were just wondering if that's something that happens often. You know, was that her playing with it, or you know, that they just appreciated that picture and they thought it was cute.
Well, you know, we usually when you switch them to the buckets, you know, they like I said, she was getting really friendly. She was really friendly at that age. She wanted to play with the bucket. And when she played with the bucket, the handle come over the top of her head. And before I had a chance to grab it, she backed up. And of course, when the bucket gets stuck on their heads, they panic a little bit because they're not quite sure what's happening, you know, because that doesn't usually happen. So it took me a little bit to get it off because they kind of panic a little bit, but no, we never leave a bucket on a calf's head, you know, that's just, they do get themselves in trouble once in a while. You know, we've had calves that will do funny things sometimes, and you just nod your head and say, all right, I'll help you get out of that mess. You know, because we've had some calves with their heads stuck in the boards already once in a while when we come out. None of them get hurt. They actually stand there and wait for you to come help them because they just know.
Yeah,
They know
they
you're
know
going
they
to
did
help
an
them.
oops. Yep.
Did it, oops. They're just like, you know, they're like us sometimes, you know, we get ourselves in trouble too sometimes, you know. And I was going to mention right here, we do have a bottle. This is the bottle we use for all the babies morning and night. Every morning and night we fill this full. And usually when they're about 2 days old, I'll take one of these and I'll with it full, I'll put it in here and we'll hang it up here and they'll come and drink from it.
No, that's
Usually,
very
but
nifty.
she must know that it's not full. So yeah, that's what we usually do, just to make things a little easier on me. And then I can go down the barn and hang them all up. And by the time I'm down to the end, I come back here and start picking them up and gathering them. And then I'll go back over and refill them, wash the nipples. I always wash the nipples after every calf drinks. Every calf gets a clean nipple. So yeah, we never give another calf the same nipple. So yeah, they're
Great.
pretty take care of. Now we're going to go over to the milk cows, but before we go over to the milk cows, I want to tell you what they eat. I made a little basket here of food. What we have here is we have the barley and corn. This is whole barley and it's whole corn. That usually gets ground up together. And when it's ground up together, it looks like this. So it's pretty ground up. And then this is the alfalfa. You can tell it's got some green in it. It's the cows absolutely love that. This is the silage. And if you were here, it smells great. Oh, I love the smell of silage. And then when we mix this up, and we get this for the cows. This is everything in it. As you see, there's grain in there, there's alfalfa in there, there's silage in there, and it smells so good. I almost want to eat it myself. But yes, that's what we feed the milk cows. So they produce the milk that you guys get. It's
So
all,
is that called something?
this is a TMR ration. We put it in the TMR. This is just a whole ration all together.
Right.
Of all the feed.
And TMR stands for
totally mixed ration.
Total mixed ration. Perfect. So it's kind of sounds like a cow casserole or a cow salad or something, that they get a little bit of everything.
We'll walk back and then I'll show you the blender. You know, you want to call it a blender, right?
Yeah.
We put the hay in there. We put the corn in there, the barley in there, the silage in there, and the grain in there, and we mix it all together in this big mixer. It just mixes the hay, and it mixes it up good. We mix it up good 10 minutes, so it mixes good, and then we feed the cows with it. So yeah, as you see, the calves are all over there. That's where the calves all are again, the ones we were looking at from the back of the barn. And we'll walk by the grain bins where the grain is in. This is the grinder right up here, as you see in the shed. My husband's got it in the shed right now. It's called a grinder mixer. So that grinds the corn and the barley and makes it all one. And then you can see we have bags of mineral. Our bags of mineral are laying right here. This is the mineral we buy from the veterinarian. We buy it from the veterinarian. So my husband was saying it all comes in bags like this. So when my husband mixes it, comes in a bag like that. When he mixes the grain, the corn and the barley, he puts the mineral in with that and mixes it in that. And then he unloads it on one pile where we're going to go right now.
Sounds kind of like you guys are cow chefs.
Yeah. And then right here's our grain bins. As you see, that one's got corn in it. That one has barley in it. That's where he augers it into that mixer that we just seen it with the mineral, and that mixes together, and then we get the grain. And we'll walk up to this. This is the mixer that we put everything in. My husband, we got a scale on it. We have a scale on the mixer right here. So my husband will turn the scale on, and he'll take the farm hand from the tractor, and he'll dump in grain, and he'll dump in a load of that silage that we'll be seeing here in a little bit. We'll be doing, we'll put a little bit of all that together, and it will get mixed up. I don't know if you want to go in and show them the knives. If you walk up.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So about how big is this? How much feed can this TMR mixer hold?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. My husband would be better at answering that one more than I am. I'm not good with numbers. But yeah, if you can all take a good look at this, this is what it gets mixed up in. It's got some knives in there and it just rolls them all together and mixes all
Wow.
the feed. It's called a TMR ration, totally mixed ration. So we
Okay,
put
those are
everything together. So this way, when we feed the cattle, they all have the same food. Nobody can argue that theirs is better. Years ago, when we first started milking, we used to dump a little bit of silage in, a little bit of alfalfa in one end and this, and they would always pick the silage over everything. Some cows would just eat silage. Some cows would just eat alfalfa, and it didn't do us any good that way. So we just decided to get a TMR ration, mix it all together. Everybody gets the same amount of food. Everybody eats the same, and they milk so much better, and they're healthier too.
right.
So
Kind of like how kids like to pick out their vegetables, and
yes,
even though you don't want to eat them, you still need to. So you got to do that for the cows too. You got to help them get all their nutrients.
right. Now I was telling you earlier, the mixer grinder, this is the grain. My husband mixes it up and he puts it in between these bales right now. He said it's the easy way out. So he just goes in and gets a scoopful, he dumps it in that TMR. And then this is the silage right here. This is the stuff that I always say smells so good. Cows love this. It's like candy corn. It's like they're candy. You would think anyway, because they're candy. Because if I would just dump in silage, they would all run to the silage bin instead of anything else. That's the thing they would eat. So now we're just about there to the milk house. Our milk cows have a little ways to walk from the barn. We kind of get them out in the open a little bit. They're usually not too far. They do really well in the pen. We've noticed that when they don't get on pasture, sometimes they're better off because here they get fed the same thing all the time. And to me, I think they stay healthier when they're always fed the same ration. Sometimes when they get off on pasture, sometimes the grass isn't as good as it's supposed to be. And I literally think that our cows are happy just right here. So these are our milk cows.
Aww.
And
they
as
look
you see, they're
cozy.
yeah, they got a big pen, and they like to lay around. We usually put fresh straw around, but as I see, I think my husband's busy planting corn nowadays. He didn't put the fresh straw down, but it's dry. They like to lay on the dirt too, as long as it's dry. And then we got fresh water just down a little bit. They got a tank full of water.
Wonderful. It looks like that one was giving that one a bath.
Yeah, they like to help each other clean too once in a while. As you see, we have a beef pool right here. We have a beef pool as well. Now we have them in with the milk cows because we don't want them with the beef cattle because we don't want them in there until August because it takes 9 months to have a baby, just like human beings. And we want
Farmer Rita, can you just turn your head a little bit? I think the wind is coming right into your mic, and it was the wind was going into the mic more than you. So try again, explaining.
I was just saying that our cows go 9 months being pregnant. They all go 9 months just like a human being. And in that 9 months time, we like to have them all have a calf around June. So we don't put the bull with them until a certain time of the year, August. So they have that 9 months to carry out. And then they all get about 3 month, 2 month, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3 month vacation time. Wow. So every cow gets 3 months vacation time. They got another pen we have down on the south side of our farm a little bit. Those cows all go to the pasture in a couple of weeks as well. And they're just like on vacation for 3 months. They got it better than I do because I never get vacation at all.
So it sounds like cows have about one calf a year. Is that correct?
Yes, they have one calf a year unless they have twins, Right. So yeah, every cow has one calf a year. Awesome. And we try not to overdo it because, we care for our cattle and we want them to have that time off too so they can breathe a little bit and relax a little bit. Enjoy life too, just like us. So yeah. So here again is milk cows. The dairy process, the dairy barn, you'll get a look at that as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what do you think?
That looks great. So while we were looking at some of these girls and boys, and we were looking at your calves, you had mentioned quickly that you have so many different colors and different patterns. Can you just reiterate again, why do they have different colors and patterns? What's the reason?
Well, these out here are all dairy right now. The red ones are like Ayrshire. We have a Ayrshire breed, that's a dairy breed. And then we have some that are a little dustier looking. Those are a blue roan in them. And the all white ones, they are called Swedish Reds. That's actually a dairy breed as well. These are just dairy right here.
Okay.
We do have beef too, and we'll show you that a little later on. Like I said, I showed you earlier that all those calves together were more of a mixture. But that's because we had the beef and the dairy together till they get sorted in a couple weeks to different pastures.
Right. So essentially they're different colors just because they're different breeds. Very similar to how dogs are different colors or shaped different because they're different breeds.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. And it's kind of fun to have a different look, a whole thing never comes out looking the same. You always have different kinds,
Very cool.
So like I said, that's the one fun thing about dairy, there's never a calf that's born looking like just the other one.
Right.
So that's the one thing. Beef cattle, a lot of them look the same, So yeah, beef cattle, you'll get a lot of them that look the same. So dairy cattle just have more markings. Yeah, they're more beautiful. But as of now, I guess maybe we can ask for a few questions if there's any questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, we actually had someone asking, how many cows are there total at your farm?
How many cows total at our farm?
Mm-hmm.
We have almost 300 head counting all the calves. At the farm right now, we have almost close to 300 cattle.
Wow. That's a lot to take care of.
Yeah, that's counting from baby on up, that's counting bull calves, mother cows, beef cows, dairy cows, and all of them.
Wonderful. Someone had asked, and I know we were seeing a little bit on the cows, but we saw it mostly on the calves. They had an ear tag question. Why are there tags on the cows? I know we talked about what you put on them, but can you remind us why you tag cows?
We tag cows so we know we got to keep a record of them when they have a calf, because otherwise they wouldn't get no vacation time. Because when they calf, we write them down in the book, and then when they come to the end of 9 months, we, they're always kind of come off milk. They don't milk as good anymore. And we go back to the book and we check them and we see their milk 9 months. So it's time for that cow to get her 3 months vacation time. So if we wouldn't keep ear tag on the cows, we wouldn't know that. Now, some of these cows do lose their ear tags, but after you're with them every morning, every night, you don't even need an ear tag because you know them personally. So we do have a few out there that don't have ear tags, but when they come in, you just know who they are. So, but yeah, you do want an ear tag so you know when they had a calf and when they're going to have another one, basically. So it keeps track of them a little more.
Sure, that makes sense. So it's a good tracking system, and it's kind of just like an ear piercing, right? I mean, it's real quick, painless, and then it moves on to the next thing.
Yeah, we want to get to the barn right now, or
so
we're kind of losing.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and we are going to jump to the parlor video while you guys head to either the stock barn or we can go right back to Fluffy. That's up to you. But we're going to show everybody what the parlor looks like. And we actually don't have any good service in the parlor. So we have a video prepared for you all. So once the video is over, we're showing you how the cows are milked, what that process is like, and you get to see where the milk cows hang out right after milking. And then we'll join Farmer Rita back with Fluffy here, and we'll get to answer the rest of your questions. So give us one moment here to get that video going for you, and then we'll join Farmer Rita live for some more Q&A to wrap up our tour today.
Welcome to our barn. This is the barn where we milk our cows in. Right now I'll take you in and show you through the process where your safe, nutritious milk comes from that's on your table. So come on in and join us.
processing plant. From the processing plant, it comes to the grocery stores for you guys to drink. So we'll follow here, we'll watch the cows get milked. Right now, this is where we wash our pipelines. As you see, the pipes that are hanging there, that's where the milk comes in from where the cows are being milked. So follow me and I'll show you where the cows are. Where the cows are. We're milking 6 cows on one side. We got another 6 on the other side. These 6 need to be fresh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
Yep.
My husband dipped each cow. So now we have to wash cows before we milk them. We dip them with a pre-dip. Wash the cow nice and clean. As you see, they're real nice and clean. They're ready to get milked. They're real nice and clean. Now we'll put the machine on, and these machines are safe for the cows. Rinse them off, make sure they're clean. Always make sure they're clean. And as you see, this is safe. I can put it on my own hand. It does not hurt. It never hurts. And as you see, the milk's coming in. The cow is letting the milk come down. She's being released, and the cows are happy. This is their time where they actually get released. So look at the milk that comes in. This cow here, she's ready to get milk. Look how she's leaking already. She said, put my machine on. Okay, then after we have the machines all on, show them all the machines. This is my husband, Earl. This is my grandson, Dominic. And this is my granddaughter, Bethany. They're always in the barn helping. And after they're done, we have to dip them with it's almost like a sunscreen. So when they're out in the sun, it protects their teeth from getting chapped. And it seals them so they don't get up any bacteria. This cow right here is the first time milker. She just had her baby calf today. It's the first time in the barn. Look how nice she is. These cows are being done, and they're going to go outside and they're going to eat supper. They're all done. You have to remember, the last one now is the first time in the barn, so she's getting a little pushy because she's a little nervous, but yet she's calm as can be. Look at her. She says, hi. We don't want to push them because they will go out on their own. Say hi to the girl. Say hi to the girl. Come back to me. Say hi to the girl. This is where the barn is, where they go. And then over here we have 2 young cows. Over here we have 2 young cows in their own pen. These 2 young cows will have baby calves this evening. So right now they're in their own pen because they're expecting little baby calves this evening, and we're taking good care of them. We're watching them. We're going to watch them overnight to make sure that their birthing goes fine. So after that, they'll be in the barn with all the rest. And that's pretty much it. And we'll see you outside.
Okay, so I think we have Farmer Rita back with us. We are getting a lot of wind though, Farmer Rita. I'm not sure where we're at, but okay. Can you guys hear me?
We're having here with the camera. Turn that this way once.
All right. So
Can
it
you
looks
see
like
me?
I can see you. I don't know
There
that
we
I can
go. We're
hear you
back.
very good though. I don't think I'm hearing you
Okay.
through your headset.
You are. Okay, how about now?
Ah, there we go. That's better.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, now we're back in again. I hope you enjoyed the video of us milking cows. It was short, very short, very sweet, but you know, we couldn't get a whole lot on there because it takes up too much time as well. But it just kind of basically showed you the basics. But anyway, right here, right now, we have our beef cattle. We're a little diverse, you know, diverse on our operation. We're, as you've seen back in the corral, we've seen black ones and red ones. These are the beef calves. So these guys get to stay with their mother for 9 months, and then after that, the mothers get taken away from the babies as well, and they go on rest for 3 months as well too, if not a little bit more. And then they have another calf as well. They have a calf every year too. So I just thought I'd show you them, and from here we'll go back up to Fluffy and
Wonderful.
wave to my husband and my granddaughter. They're just on the way to doing something that I'm not sure what they're going to do right now. As you see up there, my son is back on the farm today. He is planting the corn. I see they're just back home right now refueling. So basically, they must be done planting our corn and they're going to his corn right now. So he's on the farm. My son, I never did mention, I do have a son that does farm with us. He has a job full time as well, but he and his wife are moving back to our hometown this fall. We sold them some land and they're building a house right now and they're going to be farming with us as well.
Oh, that
So
sounds
I'm
wonderful.
excited. They have 4 children, so I'll have 4 more grandchildren living close. Right here we have Fluffy. Fluffy's up front.
Oh, there she
Fluffy
is. Hey,
actually is waiting for you
Fluffy.
guys. And have you noticed, you probably have questions, Fluffy always had a green ear tag earlier on, but for some reason I come over here one day and she had lost her ear tag. So I put her a bright yellow one on too, just like everybody else. So that's why she's got a different ear tag if you're curious. So if anybody has questions, now's the time you can ask me a few.
We do. Yeah. So we've had some great questions coming in. So just going over that milking process a little bit, someone had asked, how long is the milking process? And, how much time do they spend in the milking parlor versus how much time do they spend in the barn and being lazy?
Cows spent much time in the parlor getting milked. I think every cow, I say the longest they will milk is 5 minutes.
Mhm.
As you've seen those machines that we had there, we put them on, but they come off by themselves. When the cow no longer puts any milk down, the machine will come off the cow. So I would say an average cow milks anywhere to 3 to 5 minutes. And then when the machines all come off, they all leave the barn. So maybe they're in the barn 10 minutes, by the
That's
time we get
incredible.
them prepped, we get them dipped, we dip them before we clean them. And then we dip them again when they're done. So I would say
Oh,
maybe 10 minutes in the barn. And then as you see, they go off to the other barn and that's where they hang out for a little while. And then when we're all done milking and they hear the tractor, they know it's feeding time. So we always feed after we're done milking. So when they hear the tractor, they all leave the barn and they come out to their feed troughs and then they all eat their supper or else breakfast, then they
very
have
cool.
enough food there. They have food there all day for them to eat. So they never have empty troughs. So they
Right.
can nibble and eat and resting the whole afternoon. Basically, if you've seen the cows back there, some were eating, some were laying around. When they lay around, that's when they make the milk. So
Yeah. So, and actually, that brings up a good question. Someone had asked, how do cows make milk? So, it all starts from the food you're feeding them and the water they're drinking, right? And just
yes,
making sure they're getting the right nutrition.
yeah, every cow eats about 60 pounds of food a day. That's a lot, and they almost drink a bathtub full of water a day.
Wow.
They do eat a lot to produce a lot. So one cow a day will maybe, we don't have a big average, but our
Mhm.
cows milk a good average of 50 pounds of milk a day. Like I
Awesome.
said, we don't push them hard. We only milk 50 cows right now.
Mhm.
So we're a smaller dairy. Um, Some are bigger dairies, but we all do the same thing. We all love our animals and we all take good care of them.
Sure.
So
Absolutely. Someone had a question. They were asking, what is silage? And yes, you spelled that correctly. I was just letting the person know you spelled it correctly.
okay.
What is silage? What's it made of? We talked about it. We saw that big pile of silage in that bunk area, but what's it made of?
Okay, silage is made of corn. If you guys are familiar with the corn we plant, they're all planting corn right now, and that corn grows up. This is the corn that's on, the yellow stuff is the corn. You all know that. Anyway, the yellow stuff is the corn. And when we have a chopper, we have a harvester in I'd say the third week of September. We take that harvester and we go out and chop that corn. Basically, if you're interested, if you get on RJ Dairy, I will post us chopping corn so you can actually see it. We drive through the cornfield, it chops corn, puts it in the trucks. We drive by, pick it up with the truck, we bring it home, and we put it on a pile. That pile turns brown like this. It's all when we first do it, it's green. It's a very pretty green, but it turns colors. It turns into this color, but that's when you call it's fermented. So that's the color it turns into, and that's when it's really good for them to eat. But yeah, it's just corn that's being cut, chopped up. That's what it is.
Very cool. So, and you mentioned the word ferment, and I'd be curious to see if anyone listening knows what other things that humans eat that are fermented. So you as Farmer Rita ferment the food so it lasts longer and you can feed the cows all throughout the season. But I'd be curious, anyone listening, go ahead and throw it in the chat if you can think of any foods that we as humans ferment. We eat the before and we eat the after. See if anyone knows any types of food that might be fermented, just like what cows, similar to the process of what the cow's food goes through. So we'll be looking for that in the live chat while we go through some more questions here, and I'll be curious to see if anyone knows any food types. We had a question that they asked, do cows get sick? And if they do, what do you do, Farmer Rita, to help take care of them?
They do get sick, just like us. We have a lot of temperature change here in North Dakota. So the one day it could be 70 degrees, the next day it'd be 30 degrees, or else one day it will be 30 degrees, the next day it will be 20 below. Sometimes when the weather differentials like that so badly, we will have occasional pneumonia in a calf or something like that. And what I do is we usually get the veterinarian, we usually check with them, and they tell us exactly what we could give to the calf. Sometimes it's just a simple little shot, and the shot usually goes in the neck. It doesn't hurt them. Usually I tap the calf's neck and I pinch them with the needle, and they don't know it even happens. But when that happens for calves, they get over it. Like I said, that antibiotic stays in them for 30 days. After that, it leaves. And one time is all they usually need is to get them back on the go. Now, if it's a milk cow, if the milk cow gets sick, it's a little different. If we have, sometimes we try not to give them a shot right away. If it's a mastitis problem or something, we try to rub their udder with an ointment, to help them get over a cold. Sometimes they just catch a cold on their udder because their udders are so huge. So then we'll take just an ointment and rub that udder, and sometimes that will take care of it as well. Then we don't have to give them any antibiotic. But if it comes to the point where we have to give them an antibiotic, we take that cow's milk and we toss it. We never put it in to the big tank that you seen that was in our barn, because there is no such thing as an antibiotic in milk. Because if antibiotic would get in the milk truck driver takes a sample, and that sample he takes to the processing plant, and they test it before they even dump the milk into the big coolers at the processing plant.
Wow.
And if one of them comes back with antibiotics in it, they will check which farmer it was, and they'll come back to us. Let's say if it was me, I will end up paying for all that milk.
Ooh,
and that milk in that whole tank. Yeah, and that milk will get dumped right there. They'll bring it back out to my farm and they'll dump it on my land. So no, we try not to make a mess up. We do not, we're very careful at what we do, because it's very important for us to give you guys the best milk out there to drink.
Sure. So it sounds like no matter whether the label on the milk says antibiotic free or whether there is no label about it, It's always antibiotic free. Is
It's
that correct?
always antibiotic free. Nowadays, it's, people are scared sometimes. So sometimes processors put it on there and it really doesn't need to be on there because milk is antibiotic free no matter what.
Always.
So
Always.
there's no such thing as milk with antibiotics. So don't let that scare you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if you're ever wondering, you heard it from Farmer Rita, you heard it from a farmer, always ask a farmer, not Google. And Farmer Rita just told you right now that you can be 100% certain your milk is always safe and wholesome for you to consume, all because of amazing farmers like you, Farmer Rita. So thank you so much for doing a good job and providing us with a healthy, wholesome product. I just wanted to let you know we had
that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know we have two guesses that came in about the fermentation. So one said sauerkraut and one said yogurt. So yes, nice job. That cabbage turns into sauerkraut, and the cultures turn the milk and everything into yogurt. And one of my favorites is also cucumbers into pickles. So those typical fermentation processes. So we know it's still safe for us to eat, and it just lets it preserve it a little bit longer and turns it into something a little bit more delicious, I think. So that's what those lovely ladies are getting to eat. Awesome. We are going to get ready to wrap up here soon, Rita, but I've got three more questions for you. So first, you had mentioned that cows go on vacation for 3 months. Do they stop milking during that time, or what's that vacation like for them?
They stop milking at that time. They basically just hang out. They get fed every morning, get fed every night, but they have no chores to do, so they have it made. They just hang out and we give them bedding, in case, it rains or snows or whatever, they get bedding. If it's a cold time of the year, they still have a barn to go into. We do have barns for our dry cows. We have barns for our milk cows. We have barns for all our calves. So in North Dakota, yes, they all have the opportunity to get out of the cold, get out of the storms, and be protected. So yes, they do not milk those 3 months. Those 3 months, they are dried up and they're taking a total vacation.
Cool. Sounds like a pretty nice vacation to me. They get to eat, sleep, drink, do nothing.
That's right. That's right. So yes. So like I said, they get milk 9 months out of the year, and that 9 months they milk. Sometimes we've had milk cows milk as much as 110 pounds of milk a day. So, that's a lot,
That's incredible.
Yeah, and we've had some milk, the least that milk usually is 50 around here. That's the bottom. We're 50 pounds, that's about it. So, that's, you got any more questions for Farmer Rita? Don't be afraid to ask before we call it ends. And then just want you to remember RJ Dairy. I am on Facebook. So I will put a video up of a silaging. It won't be right away, but check in tomorrow. By tomorrow, I'll have a video up there of how we silage corn if you're interested in seeing it. Just remember, R is in Rita, J is in Jack-o'-lantern, and then Mossett. Well, it would be RJ Dairy, not Mossett. RJ Dairy. So just Google that and on Facebook, and you should be able to bring up my site.
Awesome. That's exciting.
And but just if you see the little, go ahead. See the little calves, how comfortable they are. It's the mid-afternoon now. That's the same thing the milk cows do. Milk cows lay around. You see the little white calf back there chewing. It's chewing its cud. They eat their food and then later on bring it up and chew it. So they just are relaxed and comfortable right now.
That's awesome. Now, just wanted to help anyone else that's joined us and heard you say, about 110 pounds. So farmers typically talk in pounds, but to us, we usually talk gallons. So that's actually about 12.5 gallons of milk that one cow can produce in a day. That is a lot of milk. That is just an incredible amount of milk. So your farm is really producing a lot of milk for your community. And that's just really, really neat. So thank you for producing such awesome milk. And Farmer Rita, as we wrap up today, I have one last question for you. And that question for you is, what is your why? Why do you dairy farm? Why do you do what you do every day? Why do you get up and milk those cows and take care of them? What is your why for dairy farming?
It's a passion, I guess. I love animals. I grew up as a dairy farmer And, I have never known any better. My husband's the same way. Dairy cows have just a unique personality. They're friendly. And the one thing I like best about growing up on a dairy farm with my family here is we always have that time together. It seemed like as long as we have dairy cows, um, we eat supper together. And then after we're done eating supper together, we'd all go to the barn together. And when we're in the parlor, we always visit it. We talk. It's like family time. When you guys might go to the river or something like that, our family time is in the barn. It's working, but we have a passion to do that. And,
Yeah.
they always say the farmer's got to bring food to the table. And there's got to be more of us because there's a lot of you. And we need to bring that food to your table. If not, where are we going to get it from?
Right.
So, yes, it's important for us. Like I said, I love the animals. When I'm having a bad day, an animal, just like you guys with a pet, you come sit with a calf, rub their ears. It just takes some of the stress off of a person.
Yeah.
An animal makes a guy feel good, and we like what we're doing. So
Wonderful.
it's a passion. It's a passion we have in dairy. I guess we've always done it. We've done it 40 years now.
Wow.
And that's not counting the years my husband and I grew up with it. So yeah, 40 years. I'm excited. Somebody says they retired after 25 years. It's like, I've got 40 years in.
That's
So yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's a
No,
good thing.
wonderful. That is an amazing why. And, it's all about supporting your family and just that family time and, of course, supporting the
Yes.
community. So, Farmer Rita, thank you so much for sharing your farm with us today. Thank you for just taking that time to talk about your family and sharing, of course, our adorable Fluffy. It was really great getting to see her and learning about how everything happens at your farm. And truly just thank you for being great stewards of the land. Clearly, you guys take good care of a lot of acreage of land and take good care of your cows and provide good quality feed and water for them. So it's just really nice to see one of many farmers who I know take great care of their land. But we really say thank you for the amazing work you do, plus letting us adopt Fluffy and letting us have this experience. So thank you so much. I know everyone's really enjoyed this time getting to meet Fluffy and you today. So thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for all your time and thank you for tuning in. And remember, check out RJ Dairy on Facebook and you'll see more pictures down in the Facebook page. So if you want to do that, go right ahead. And until then, drink milk, eat cheese, eat your yogurt, stay healthy. And Farmer Rita is going to sign off now. Thanks for coming.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye.